Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. It's about 6 p.m. January 25th, 2019. It is a Friday, which is Venus's day. Now, we're going to be doing a lot of things in this reading. It will be an update of the natal chart. I noticed this person was born on Tuesday, and that is the day of Mars. And also, the person's sun sign is Scorpio, and at one time Mars ruled Scorpio, and it's probably still a connection. We will be talking about that because the first thing I wanted to do was learn a little bit more about the sun in Scorpio. What does that mean when you're born with the sun in Scorpio? So we're going to go to a website in Australia because they do pretty good astrology, depending on which website you find. And also, the person asked about Lilith, so we're going to do more with that as well. Alrighty, just give me a moment. All right. So just give me a little bit. Alrighty, so I wanted to look around, study a little bit, which I did. We will get into it, best believe, because she's asking me out. Lilith is beautiful. It's beautiful because right now, let me pull up the charts again. Right now, you're looking at the present transit chart, space chart, as above, right now, so below. That's what you're looking at. And Lilith is, wow, 1 degree going into Aquarius. And this is why you see all these women standing up. But that's what I want to talk about. And she's at, 1 degree. 1 degree, 1. Now, I've heard some people say seconds. Like they go 1 degree, and then the next numbers, they go seconds. But I've heard people say minutes. I'm used to saying minutes because that's usually what I hear astrologers say. But I did hear an astrologer say seconds one time. Anyway, I'm going 1 degree, 1 minute. And that's 11, the master number. Because the person that requested this is very gifted. But what happens is, like I said, sometimes we live many lives. See, my best friend is like that. Like, she's above all of this and always has been. She has been medically sick since the 1990s. She has been told numerous times by various doctors, you're going to die. There's no way you can live past this operation. You're going to die. That child inside of you is going to die. You might as well go ahead and abort that child because one of you or both of you are going to die. She's heard this over and over. That's my best friend, so I've had to hear it myself since 1994. She is still alive today. In fact, that child that they said that was going to die during the operation, that child was born by itself. When she was laid out on her bed, she woke up in the morning and that child had came out already, was there, connected by the cord, crying. No doctor brought that child into this life. So I've seen the supernatural, metaphysical, mystical my whole life. And right now, let's give it a count. Right now, Neptune is in Pisces, very mystical. in the 8th house. So this is very psychical, very mystical. So that's why I said a lot of times when people contact me, it's because they have psychic awareness. Either they know inside themselves or their higher self will contact me. And when I go looking to see what's going on, we can figure it out. But that's why I said we want to take our time with this information. Now, the Neptune is at 14 degrees, 44, and 44 is a master number. Barack Obama was the 44th president. What Barack Obama did was show you an ending, and that's what he did. See, I'm talking mystical right now. I'm talking metaphysical. I'm talking about the esoteric. He showed you an ending returning to those Egyptian people, and they're what you call the melanated people. Now, I talk about this more on my other channel. A lot of people still don't really get it. There's other people on YouTube that kind of get it, but it's just so much division. And when you're divided, you stay weak. So that's what he represented. Now, the next person to come is the trumpet. All this stuff is in your Bible. It's all metaphysical. But you've been taught to see the Bible one way. You don't realize. But even if you read Matthew 13, they call him the Word. This Jesus Christ, they call him the Word. All right? And he told you that's all mysteries. That the majority of the people won't know what the heck is going on. The masses don't know, but the certain elect. And most of these people that are the elect are the people running your TVs, running your news. These are all the secret societies. They know all the stuff I'm trying to tell you. And that's why I said it's hard for me to turn it down. Even though it costs me a lot. Because people want me to dumb down. And I won't. And that's why I said right now, Trump told you that a storm is coming. I told you that 2019 is a very prophetic year. That's why I hope all these people that are running all these different readers and psychics and card readers asking about love and all that, I hope they take some of that obsession time and learn about what's going to happen in 2019. Because you're already seeing it already. We just got started and already you see it. The women rising, Lilith and Aquarius. We're not going to take it anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the 7th house of relationships, partnerships, law, justice. Remember, law and justice is Mayat. Again, Egyptian. Barack Obama. He is the bloodline of Pharaoh Akhenaten. Again, Egyptian. They told you that the Messiah, I called my son out of Egypt. Matthew chapter 2. Then in Revelation 11, when they say about his crucifixion, crucified where our Lord was in Egypt. See, there's a lot of things that you should know, because this is the truth that's coming. Not the knucklehead stuff, not the lovey-dovey loving somebody that's not going to love you back and spending all your money and all your energy on readings and stuff, but you're still not going to be with that person. Or they come around real quick and break your heart again. So what the universe is crying out is time to wake up. That's something that a RFG Chosen One says all the time. Wake up, people. Not saying you can't be in love. You never. I'm a Leo. I am love. People don't think so. But this is the time you're in. The time to stand up. This is what Lilith is saying. And this is why I get so mad, because as soon as I start reading, they say Lilith is negative, or Lilith kills children, or Lilith, and they say such horrible things about Lilith. I don't know Lilith like that at all. I've seen Lilith bring people together on their natal charts. That's why she's in the 7th house. And this person that requested this reading, know her pretty good. We talk a whole lot through the emails and stuff. And that was my major agenda with her. To stop allowing yourself to be played out. To stop allowing yourself to settle for less. See, a lot of people don't. You can't teach people, because as soon as they say you say a name, they start. Like, what if I said, what's his name? Paul Rubin. If y'all might not know who Paul Rubin is, right? So you might listen a couple of more seconds. But the moment I go Pee Wee Herman, then you stop listening. But Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubin made so much freaking money. So you can't say he wasn't one of the best businessmen of all time. Oh no, but I heard this or he did this. All right, and what? And what after that? So because he got caught in a house with a whole bunch of people doing the same thing in the same house he got caught in, because that's what they do in those places, whether you know it. Now, I'm not saying it's nice or proper, but that's what goes on, and that's why he went there. So that destroys everything else the man did. Created a character that started in B movies to become one of the most famous characters throughout the history of the world. It's probably people over in Japan that go Pee Wee Herman. I know you are, but what am I? Sheer genius. But it's hard to teach. So they get mad at old Gary Gare because they want Gary Gare to change his whole style. When I've been doing this for decades, waiting for the moment that we're in right now. But I'm very happy to hear this person tell me, the one that requested it. She told me just a few days ago, thank you for teaching me to stand up for myself. Because that's what Lilith's about. Lilith ain't killing nobody's kids unless you fuck with her. Lilith is not just about dark energy and sexuality. That's all part of her personality, but that's not just Lilith. See, what you guys don't understand, because most of them aren't listening, especially the people running, all these saints and goddesses and women that have been raped, and when they were teenage girls that have been raped and murdered, they all come see me. So why do they want to talk to me if I'm such a mean person? Or if I'm a male chauvinist pig? Why would some of the greatest goddesses of all time come talk to me? Oh, he's crazy. He's making it up. No, I'm not crazy. See, I don't run. I'm not a coward. To me, a coward is crazy because a coward's the one that runs or runs to something. Oh, I just want to hear about this. I could care less about that. And then when your world is on fire, you're going to be crying out because those people are not going to tell you that because they're ripping you off. So they're never going to tell you what they really see on your chart. Like if you're paying for a love reading and they see some other stuff about you getting raped or getting beat up, do you think they're going to tell you that? Not if they want that money. They're going to keep telling you about Venus in the 7th house and everything's going to be great. I tell you everything so that you can prepare for it. And I've been telling this person on the right this chart, all I see is good things. Yeah, you see a lot of struggle. But apparently, if the universe gave it to you that way, it's because the universe knows you can handle it. But it's when you stand up and take your power, that's what Lilith's all about. Because Lilith don't take no shorts. So right now, looking at the 7th house, where Lilith is, and the 8th house, it's all about psychic. It's all about things in the 8th house. The house of mysteries and darkness and secrets coming out. But that information will be used with Mercury energy to give you a better understanding of relationships. Love relationships, but also people relationships. Because Aquarius covers it all. Because that's what's going on in that house, Sun in Aquarius. So what Lilith is doing is telling the world, I'm feminine, I'm here, you've got to learn how to see things my way. Because I'm not going to budge. You're not going to bully us. You're not going to push us around. If I want to breastfeed my child out in public, I'm going to do it. And I'm right here in the law sector, the 7th house, to let you know that's what's going to happen. And right now, the sun is shining on that. If you read your news right now, that's all going on. They're raising up. Nancy Pelosi is not bowing down to Trump. Then there's another one, I think her name is Osario. She's not bowing down. It's like, and if you notice, more recently, Trump has been backing down. His demands are becoming less money. Things that he said he was definitely going to do, now he's starting to say he's not going to do it. So the Trump is getting stumped. I would say by a cunt, but people may get pissed off. But it is just another name for the womb. And that's what's going on. So we have to tell her like it is out here. And this is what I like doing. And I appreciate that this person has stuck with me for a long time. But I'm also very happy that she's a lot stronger than when she first came. That's more important to me. Money comes and goes. See, it's another guy that I listen to a lot. I heard him on, I won't tell you who his name is since you guys can't go with names. See, me, I think Pee Wee Herman is probably one of the greatest creative minds of all time. I mean, his name was Pee Wee. What did you expect him to get caught doing? Come on, people. Well, another great mind was on Drink Champs not too long ago. And a lot of his philosophies is what I believe. What good is it if you're not helping other people? That's something he always said, but he always got betrayed by the same people he picked up out of the dirt, made them become some of your greatest artists of all time, and the moment they got a little bit of fame, they stabbed him in the back. And now they make him out to be a wicked person that he can't possibly be. This is why all these women come to me. All of them. You name them. Women that went down as being saints. They all come to me. Why? Because they know what I'm about. The 7th house. Let's all get together. Let's all get along. If you're going to be in love, don't you really want to be in love? Do you really want to love somebody that really don't love you? Why? Why would you give that your energy to somebody that's not willing to love you the way you love them? And don't get me wrong, I don't mean about idealism, because there's going to be faults and flaws no matter who you're with. But I just need to know that I can depend on you. Because why would I drive you all over the world and help you solve all your problems, and the moment it comes time for you to do something for me, you say something slick or disrespectful? That's why I had to get rid of that Kenyan, because that's how she was. And she regretted losing me because I did everything for her. But that was another major mistake, because you shouldn't do everything for another person. You got to help that person do for themselves. And that's why people don't like me. I have people trying to give me more and more money, and I won't take it, because I tell them, no, it's time for you to start thinking for yourself. I'm not going to do it all. I don't want you breaking up with somebody because I said so. You break up with them because you want to break up with them. Or you say, well, you know what? I love them anyway. I'm not going to break up. Good. But make your decision. I can't do that, even when I can see it. The last reading I did, a woman was she wanted to go deeper as to what her male counterpart was doing. And I was like, no, I think we've gone far enough. I said, you have enough information to make your decision. Don't make a decision based on he slept with somebody else. Because really, this is what your ladies don't want to hear. But the fact of the matter is, maybe he slept with somebody else because you weren't doing your job. How about that? How about you learn how to grow up a little bit if you're in a relationship? Since we are talking about Lilith in the 7th house. If you're in a relationship, how about you growing up and doing your part so he has no reason to run anywhere else? How about that? Stop all the drama. You made the man miserable, and now he's running to somebody else, and now you want to break up with him when he should have broke up with you a long time ago. How about that? And you can see why my numbers stay so low out here on YouTube. But don't worry, I have a strong feeling things are about to change. On my other channel, I gave you a prophecy from Prophetess Bola. And she's saying that next month will be a year of justice for people who have done it the correct way. Because it's time for the universe, according to Prophetess Bola and other people out here on YouTube, it's time for these fake, phony frauds to be exposed. And I ask the Lord, please do so. That's what I want to see. So we are in the 7th house, so we are talking about justice, and that's what Sister Bola says. And some people say 2019 is a year of justice. They said 2019 is a year. Yeah, that is what they're saying. Anonymous is saying it. Some are saying 2019 is a year of opportunity. So I say, bring it on, Lord. Bring it on. So we teach it the correct way. And that's what I said. If you want to talk about Lilith, this is the truth about Lilith, according to mythology. The first wife of Adam. Adam said, woman, lay down so I can lay on top of you and have sex with you. She said, no, you lay down so I can lay on top of you and have sex with you. Now, most guys would have said, hey, all right, who cares? But for some reason, Adam had a problem with that. So that's Lilith. It's equality. Respect me for me. Respect me for me as a woman. I'm not a man. I'm a woman. Respect me for me as a woman. That's where we're going to start. And Adam didn't want to do that. So that's your first woman revolt, was with Lilith. And so then God got involved, and according to mythology, God took Adam's side. So she basically told both of them they could go fly a kite, and she took off. And then from then on, she was demonized. And to this day, this is why you have all this internal stuff with women and all this creepy stuff with women and all kind of stuff. But you're not wrong for standing up for yourself. And that's why you see that's going on in the universe right now with Lilith in the 7th house in Aquarius. And that gentleman I'm talking about that was on Drink Champs, that's what he said. He said, I really don't like to do business with men. He said, I like to do business with women. He said, usually when you see me, I have women around me. All right, now I wanted to give the background on Lilith because we're about to go in more information. And then after we go on this information, I'm going to go around this chart. Hopefully everybody who's listening, who's very interested in this, is taking notes. And then we'll be done. But I really wanted to emphasize Lilith. And just give me a second because I'm always looking around on my computer to see what's going on. Okay, just give me a moment. Like I said, I'm going to go around everything. All right, so what do we learn about Libra? What do we learn so much about Lilith in the 7th house, which is ruled by Libra so far? It's all right now. It's all about the 7th and 8th house. And if you look at her chart to the right, go right to her 7th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there you have it. That's her true north node at 21 degrees, and that's karma. That's the world card. Saturn, the world tarot card. Saturn is all about endings, but also about karma. And you still have Mercury, which is going to be communication. See, you see what's going on? And the sun in the 7th house. So this is definitely on her relationships or partnerships or what's fair, what's legal, what's just. It could deal with open enemies as well. So let's do that. Let's go to Terry Nassan and go, because she told me when I did my reading today with Terry Nassan, she told me that I will be dealing with a person today that I know it's got to be you, the person that requested this. So let's do that. Let's read what Terry Nassan said. This is Terry Nassan for Leo. Friday, this is Venus's day, January 25th, 2019. And this is for Leo, but she mentioned somebody else. And she said the moon is in Libra. Now, isn't that amazing? That's what she's saying. It is. It is. In the third house, which is Gemini. But who's there? Libra. This is all about communication. So the person who requested this is something going on with your 7th house or with that Libra energy about communication. Remember, Scorpio could mean something hidden, but it could also be something sexual. With Lilith. But Lilith wants to communicate. Lilith is willing to give the communication a chance. And it's kind of interesting because Lilith retrograde can often mean something inward. And her Lilith retrograde is at 12 degrees in Aries. And Mars is now the ruler of Aries, but Mars used to be the ruler of Lilith, the ruler of Scorpio, rather. And it's also, again, in the house of number 12, which is the house of endings. So it's almost like saying something's got to give, one way or another. And then, because we've all, see, that's where your Mars is, in your family house. And when you go to the 12th house right now on the space chart, it's the 4th house of family. And then guess what? Guess who's in the 4th house? Scorpio, your sign. So this is definitely family relations as well. And again, to be totally honest with you, and I think I've said this numerous times before, it's things that need to be dealt with and communicated. And that's where it gets touchy, because I don't know the situation. But sometimes you may have family that, it could be anything. This is where it gets touchy. But sometimes you may say, oh, you know, we've argued for decades, nothing's going to change. But sometimes, believe it or not, it may change, especially if the universe is saying so. And sometimes, you know what, it's not even if it doesn't change, but it still needs to come out. I mean, sometimes it's just, I always use Joyce Myers. Now, her father was just a very wicked pervert. Beat her, everything. I'm not going to go into detail. Now, this is Dr. Joyce Myers, one of the biggest Christian evangelists right now. Now, through her walk with God, she had to go back to this man, forgive him, help him become a Christian, and she and her husband was with this man until he died. But you and I both know if that didn't happen, that man would have been burning in hell for eternity. See, some of you don't believe in hell because you're going by with Western society, but you're in a freaking matrix. And even Prophetess Bola is warning you about the matrix. So what the universe is saying in these areas is it has to be spoken. And your Mars is at 2 again. And 2 is always going to really be that number. It could be about diplomacy or forgiveness. But usually 2 is about that couple number, sensitivity, empathy. And then Mars is in Aries on a space chart. So it is kind of inviting your energy. Because like I said, a lot of times when you're dealing with Lilith and things like that, and even Scorpio, see, they hold it all in. Scorpio's a lot like Lilith, but they hold it all in. But you have a person that inside is burning, or they're dealing with all of this. And this is why the moment somebody shows them some affection, they just take it. Because you're dealing with a person that's internal, and they haven't learned to say it and believe it and outwardly show it. I'm beautiful. Like, I don't just have to take anything. But sometimes when a person has all that's going on inwardly, And that's what, it's like a cycle. This is all about energy. Because it's a cycle where a person is just, it's kind of like when you are around so many people and all they want to do is talk tough. What time is it? Time to get a watch. Whatever. They always got to say something smart back. Those are people that haven't dealt with the internal. And that's why they're always walking around trying to act like they're outwardly so much in control. And they always have a sarcastic thing to say. And they're always, because they got so much stuff going on inside that they don't want to deal with. So they give you an external, oh, I'm so tough, I'm in control. But inside, they're all weak and scared. And they're hoping you don't ask no internal questions. They're hoping by them acting so brash and so tough that you'll never walk up to them and really say to them, hey, how you feeling today? No, really. How do you really feel? What's going on? But they don't want to hear that crap. That crap scares the hell out of them. So they got to be tough. Good morning. Oh, what's good about it? So this chart, both of these charts are saying that these matters have to be addressed. And as I said, Joyce Myers went back with her husband at some point. She probably always went back with him because her father was a very wicked man. A wicked pervert. So when she finally decided that I got to go back and resolve this, go back over myself, resolve it inside of herself. And then her father, at some point, they probably did a lot of praying. But that's what Neptune and Pisces is all about. See, that's the 12th house. This is all about endings. You can't get past it. It's like the universe saying, you got to go back to your old neighborhood. And that person like, oh, hell no, I'm not going back. All that shit that happened, all the stuff that was done to me and all those people, I'm never going to go back. I'm not going to face it. But the universe is saying, you got to go back. And when you look where her Neptune is at, her Neptune is in Sagittarius. When you look at the chart on the left, Sagittarius is in the 5th house with Jupiter, and Venus is still there too. Because remember, Jupiter and Venus is always going to be the father and the daughter. And that number 16 is Mars. And that, even you see planet Mars is 16 degrees. That's Mars. That's the Tower card with things coming down, things breaking down, so that hopefully they can be rebuilt in a better way. And that's what Prophetess Bolo said. She said the same thing. And even your vertex, but the vertex to the left chart is 16 degrees as well. See, they're basically saying things got to be broke down. So, see, your 8th house is always going to be about your past life. And that's why a lot of times the family you're born into is directly connected to your past life. And a lot of people don't believe that or understand that, but it is. And it's things you just have to deal with. Because I can tell you with my father's been dead since 1979. But in recent years, when I say recent years, I mean like the last 12 years or so, since I became more and more aware of metaphysics and the worlds around us. I've had connections with him, release connections. Not no seance and nothing like that. Just supernatural. Just becoming more aware. And my older sister, who died maybe in the last 7 or 8 years, she'll show up through a lot of different ways. She'll show up through like animal messages, real animals. And also, when I on a Sunday, I began to learn about the universe. Began to show me that most of your asteroids, if not all of them, probably all of them, are feminine. I never knew that, but I was being taught by Vesta. And while Vesta was teaching me all this stuff, showing me all this stuff online or whatever, we started having trouble with our heat. But Vesta is Virgo energy. Now my mother and my older sister's deceased. They're both Virgos. Vesta is Virgo energy. Vesta also deals with Virgo, or the home, because Virgo is the 6th house, the home. But Vesta also deals with heat. So we started having these strange smells come from our heat and all these problems with the heat. Now I already knew. Now the other people here, they were like flipping out, like, what's wrong with the heater? Plus it was in the wintertime. But I couldn't tell them because they would have thought I was crazy. But I knew everything was going to be all right. I said, that's a confirmation of what I'm being taught is the truth. And that was Vesta. So they're like, oh, should we pay to have them come out here on emergency because it's Sunday? I said, no, don't worry. Things will probably be okay. Now, the man who came to look at the heat on that Monday was my deceased sister's biggest boyfriend when we were teenagers. So if all this isn't connected, what is? So that's what you want. You want the truth. You don't want just a cheap, cheesy card reading. You want your natal chart. Your natal chart is your Bible from your universe for you. And of course, there's going to be challenges. But the faster you get over the hump, the better off your life will be. And a lot of times you're saying, well, why can't I find love? Or why are all guys are dogs? And blah, but you won't do what's on your natal chart. That's one of the reasons. But the truth of the matter is, even when you get over that hump, and you will, the world's not going to be perfect. So you got to get used to it. And even I'm a Leo, so I get to offer all the time to go back to dating and all that. When I was reading stuff for her just now on that website, Stars Like You or something like that from Australia, I said, let me look at Leo real quick. And that's the first thing it said. Leo, you forgot to have fun. I hear that all the time. That's the first thing I looked at. Leo, you forgot to have fun. You need to go back to the days when you were playful. But the fact of the matter is, I have to be ready to go back to that. Because otherwise, I'm going to be a terrible boyfriend for somebody. Because I'm not ready for that. None of that at all. So no matter how many readings I got a beautiful reading. I might show you the card at the end of this video. I'll just put the card up. The 3-card tarot. Where the high priestess told me, it's time for love. That your soulmate at your job, she's waiting. But what's funny is I haven't been back since in a while because of health reasons. And when I'm there, she's not there. When she's there, I'm not there. So somebody in the universe is keeping that apart for a reason. But the same thing went on with my twin flame. There was always something in the universe that kept us apart. But at the same time, from my own where I'm at, I'm not ready anyway. So for me, I'm just not ready. So no matter what I'm getting from the universe, if I'm not ready, I'm not ready. So it would be foolish for me to jump back into something I'm not ready for. And believe me, like I said, we all go through things. See, me, I'm more like I like to study. I'm an intellect. I'm more like a nerd. I have to feel it. I have to understand it and feel it and then be ready. And other people are different. Some people just want to feel it. But in these 2 charts, what I keep seeing is she's got to get over that hump, and it has to do with that family. And you see it on both of these charts. That 4th house. In the 4th house, teenage to adult education, land and property or real estate, family and ancestors, the health, the heart, vehicles and travel, the woman who raised you when you were young, Imum Kweli. But it's also anything in the family. And there's always something going on with Leo with her as well. Even when you look at her Leo, that's again at 2 degrees. And that second card, number 2, is the High Priestess as well. And that's all, again, about polarities. But it's also the couple number, the sensitivity number. And the number 19 is the Sun card. So where that Jupiter is at 19 degrees, it's the Sun. So again, and that's your moon sign is Sagittarius. So this is affecting her emotionally as well. And it's in the 8th house. So all this is psychic stuff. If you notice, we're dealing a lot with the 7th house and the 8th house. We're dealing a lot with Neptune and Pisces. Now, Neptune and Pisces is your dreams, your intuition, but also your subconscious mind. See, these are some of the reasons why people want to have sex all the time. Just like people want to get high all the time or smoke weed all the time. This is the 8th house. That's all coming out the 8th house. But at the end of the day, you're just connecting back to your past lives. Because that's all coming out the 8th house. But that's still not solving your problems. So when you start seeing Mercury show up, or Gemini, or something going down in the 3rd house, that's all about communication. Because these people are internal. I'm about to read it. They're internal. I got a brother-in-law like that. And he's in the crazy house for a little bit. But the reason why he's in the crazy house because he's an internal dude. And I tell him that all the time, man, you hold all that stuff in, you'll never talk about it. And that, like I said, when you see Scorpio and stuff like that, or the 12th house, which is ruled by Pisces, that could happen to you. Because you got to bring it out. That's why I told a lot of people the best thing they could have done was YouTube channel. Because some of these people have become superstars because of YouTube. Or Patreon or somewhere. Or Facebook. Or wherever they're at. Twitter. These people, they would have been like nobodies without all that. And now they're like literally megastars. But you have to communicate. And nobody should ever feel down. Because we're all from the same source. But you do have to find what's going on. That's why you need a natal chart. But it's not just for that reason. It's everything. Your natal chart is like from God to you. It's that simple. And you need an expert that can explain it. You can't just do it like all this bubblegum stuff out here on YouTube. Like somebody will go to a crappy website, get a crappy natal chart. And I used to have to deal with that. Somebody, they think they saving whatever. Now, whatever I do, it's low as I don't know what. And you still have people trying to just, with that silly stuff. And that's when I started to stop dealing with them. So you try to tell them, okay, just make sure I'll do it, but just make sure the natal chart's a good one. Man, I got it. Then they do it. The natal chart don't have no asteroids on it. It's all missing all kind of stuff. So then when I do the reading, now they're mad because the reading's inaccurate. I told you that before the reading started. So that's why I had to cut that totally out. Because that just wastes everybody's time. And like, I value a half a second. I value time. Like, I don't waste time. So that's why I said, I just read it on this website, this Australian website. They said, Leo, you have to find what you love to do and what makes you happy and then go with it. And that's what that other guy said on Drink Champ. He said the same thing. And that's why I said you do. I do. I love what I do. I am happy. So that's why I said just being honest. For me, I have to find somebody that's able to fit into that happiness because I'm already happy. So for me, that's why I said I stay committed to what I see, what I do. Because for some reason, the way things are, especially in the West. Now, don't get me wrong, because like I said, you could go to another country where it's totally different. But where I'm at, my part of the West, it's just like that. It's just like trying to cut through stale air. But that's why sometimes you have to advance out. When you see Sagittarius and stuff, that's kind of like people going like long distance or internet relationships or something like that. That's Aquarius, Sagittarius, 11th house, 9th house. So now, right now, there's going to be a lot of aggression in the workplace because of Aries. And Uranus means anything coming out of nowhere at 28 degrees. That's an excess. It's almost like a major overhaul. And even number 5 is like kind of the number 5 is almost like Uranus. But remember, number 5 tarot card is the Pope or the Hierophant. So again, you might have a shakeup going on at your job, but it might be to help you be more spiritual. And remember, number 15 at medium coeli is the Devil card, but that's still your Capricorn, your career, and that is your 10th house of career. Right, is it? To make sure. I know they got it in the 9th. They got medium coeli in the 9th house, but that's still Sagittarius energy. But yeah, but if you look in your 10th house, you still see Taurus, because the Hierophant is Taurus energy, and then you got Juno at 24 degrees. All right, I just want to look this up. Give me a second. Oh yeah, getting back to Terry Nassan. She's warning. I was going to say that anyway, because of Neptune and Pisces. Right now, things may look a certain way, but she's warning that because of the Neptune Pisces, it's going to make things foggy, and things that look kind of like good may not be as good as they appear. Because they call planet Neptune a deceiver. So you have to be very careful. She says people you meet right now might not be all they appear to be. So then she said news about a friend or an ex could give you pause, and things do not look good for this person in the future. So that's all just kind of like a warning. She likes saying be careful, but she said all of that in the content of deceptions. What might appear one way isn't what it is. So again, just slow down, because again, sometimes we rush into things, and that's the real reason why things got messed up. Many years ago, I had a cousin who rushed into a marriage, and everybody was kind of warning her that the guy was a weirdo and don't. But her and her mother just rushed into it, got married, and then that guy was just a horrible person, And then she was saying, "Oh, I wish somebody had told us." And a whole lot of people told them. They just didn't want to listen, so they rushed into it. So what Terry Nassan is saying is slow down. Terry Nassan is one of the best astrologers in the world. Things are not going to be what they seem, and you have to slow down. Because that's what I'm saying. This is what I keep trying to tell people. Because your natal chart will be telling you what you need to do. Deal with that internal stuff. Get it out. Reckon it. Don't be afraid. Because see, the 8th house and 12th house. See, Scorpio rules the 8th house. Pisces rules the 12th house. The 8th house and 12th house are all about fears and subconscious mind and things that are hidden and things we don't want other people to know and things we don't want to talk about. But Lilith's like that, especially when she's retrograde. But she goes internal as well. But what you're seeing on both these charts right now is to deal with something, reckon something, talk about something, try to heal. Because Scorpio is also about healing. Heal. And Pisces, the 12th house, is also about healing. These are all water signs. So that it's saying start the process so that you can move on. All right, we're about to look at the number 24, but now I'm going to look at Terry Nasan for the forecast for Scorpio. She said right now for Scorpio with Moon and Libra, it's all about justice, relationships, wealth, and beauty. But don't expect a walk in the park, as the Moon and Libra will bump into obstacles throughout the day. Your energy can be very high today. This is a good day to move around, to be proactive with high energy. Scorpio, there's hope for your good health through new innovations or things you read or people you talk to. Money comes unexpectedly and things are better than you think financially. So remember that. Money may come to you unexpectedly and things are better than you think financially. She said if you're looking for a job, great. It's time to move on and earn more. So that's what Terry Nasan said for today, Friday, January 25th, 2019 for Scorpio, Sun sign Scorpio. All right, now what am I looking for? Okay. Number 24. Now, where are we getting the 24 from? Juno in Taurus in the 10th house on the chart to the left. Juno represents serious relationships. The Taurus energy actually represents the Pope of the Hierophant Tarot card. And he does marry people. And Juno represents serious relationships. Okay, so 24 is teamwork, cooperation, family, domestic life, harmonious relationships. And that's her ascendant or her rising sign, Taurus. Now, Taurus rules the second house. And when you go to her second house is Gemini. And that's what we're talking about right now. Libra's in Gemini. So it's almost like saying, in order for that relationship to be better, she's got to deal with that family stuff, whatever it might be. And see, Leo always pops up on her chart with Saturn. But Saturn could be about karma or discipline. And that's the ascendant of the day is Leo. And all this is going on in the 5th house on the transit chart for today. And Juno and Venus is always about father-daughter. And they're both at 16 degrees. So it's almost like saying it has to be addressed. That Mars energy has to be addressed because 16 is the Tower card. The Tower card is Mars. See, when you look at her Lilith, it's at 12 degrees. That's the hangman. He's the one that's going to hold everything in. He's going to suspend everything inwardly. And that's what Lilith does, retrograde Lilith. But yet inside is Aries, all that anger. And this is in the 12th house, and that's the house of repression. And then you see the 24 again right there. Almost like saying you could really have this relationship if you deal with your repression. And then Aries rules the first house where Taurus is. And when you look at the chart on the left, Taurus has Juno, which is serious relationship. So 24 can mean teamwork, cooperation, family, domestic life, harmonious relationships. The number 24 is translated return or turning point. And what I say about return, you got to go back to the neighborhood. But also, yeah, it will be a turning point. It's kind of like if you've ever been bullied and you just get sick of that bully. And that day you finally stand up to that bully is like the greatest day in your life. So yeah, Lilith right now, she's in the 7th house. She's telling you. She's right next to Mercury. She wants to talk. And your Mercury's at 27 degrees. Compassion, creativity. It's going to go down to the number 9. Ancient wisdom. Humanity. Seven is wisdom, intuition, analyzing things. 2 is diplomacy, tact. Very tactful person. Number 27 is idealistic, emphatic, team-oriented, wise enough to help others search for their purpose and ways to help themselves. Number 27 is very tolerant and perceptive. Number 27 could be 999. Over 50 musicians died at the age of 27. When it reduces the number 9, it's representing the end of the cycle. And we keep hearing that. End, karmic end. 27 is creative and logical, worldly and ideal. And again, you're 27. It's 27 degrees, 44 minutes, it looks like. And I already told you 44 is usually the master number of endings as well. Right before something, like I said, turning point. Your sun sign is 11 degrees, which again goes down to 2. 11 is the master teacher, but it can go down to 2, which is the couple or sensitivity. And even your Uranus is 3 degrees, which is another spiritual number. Your true north node is 21. So if I saw your true north node, I would say it was in Scorpio. I would say this is a person who lived a past life, and their purpose in this life, their north node, true north node, is to bring to end. In this life, they have to bring to end, number 21, the tarot card Saturn, or world card, and the world card deals with endings and karmic endings and karma. So they have to bring something to the end in that 7th house, which means it's going to be relationship minded. And then if you've been listening to what I've been saying, it's in perfect harmony with both of these charts. But that's why I keep saying it's a lot like Joyce Myers. It took her and her husband to go back to her father, and they had to get to a point where they could deal with what it took place in order for her to heal. And as a pastor, she chose to heal him as well. But she didn't really have to do that if she didn't want to. But as a Christian, you could say they're somewhat encouraged or somewhat obligated. People don't like to use the word obligated nowadays, but Christians are somewhat obligated by their Messiah. Definitely encouraged by him to forgive and help people escape eternal damnation. And that's what she did. That's what Dr. Joyce Myers did. All right, so it's not too much more we can go with that aspect of it. Basically, like I said, we've been over her chart over and over again. But usually the sun in Scorpio is saying that the things that are inside have to be brought out. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to read Sun in Scorpio, but I'm going to do it somewhat concise and so we're going to talk about the sun first. The sun in Scorpio describes the primal focal point within the personality structure. Understanding and developing these aspects of self will help develop and expand your sense of authenticity. Where the house is, where this takes place, is very important. We already said it. We already explained the 7th house. We already explained all that relation, everything. So they say, if you do not feel like you are a sun sign Scorpio, are you giving yourself permission to be who you truly are? Because that's what I always say. If we keep repressing it, because that's what Scorpio does. Scorpio is very secretive. But Scorpio is the most powerful zodiac sign there is out of the 12. And Scorpio can do self-healing. Scorpio would be a master teacher. Like if she had a YouTube channel, she would do very well with it. Or, you know, wherever she wanted to go, Patreon, wherever. They're very perceptive. They know stuff that there's no way they could possibly know, but they know. And then, you know, the whole dream stuff, they can see things in their dreams. Their connection to Neptune and Pisces is important. So now the ruler of Scorpio is Pluto. So let's see where Pluto is on the chart. See right there with Capricorn. And we just got finished talking about Capricorn on her chart. And again, Pluto's at 21 degrees. Again, Saturn or Karmic. So definitely it's a Karmic ending with Leo. That's why I said if it was a Leo that hurt her, that's what the universe is saying. Oh no, it's time to deal with that. And she, even 14, what did I say? What did I say about Joyce Myers? She saved her father from hell. Now 14 is the gates of hell. See, Saturn and Capricorn in the 5th house to the left, the chart on the left is 14 degrees. That's temperance. Temperance. That's Sagittarius energy. Because we keep talking about Sagittarius energy. And it's also called the agent of time, but it's connected to the gateways of hell. So right there, so there's a judgment coming in the 6th house, which is the home. Pluto can mean transformation, but see, Pluto is also Hades. This is why I said you have to know all the stuff that I know, like esoteric, metaphysics, because all this stuff is on the chart. But people say, oh, I don't want to know about all that. Just tell me about love. But then when these same people are burning in hell, they're going to wish somebody like me told them the truth. So it's kind of like what and what I'm trying to tell you was, when I finally came to a closure with my father, he had been dead for decades. So it's always, you can always come to closure if you want to. You can always forgive if you want to. But you see it right there. Saturn, Capricorn, the gateway of hell with 14 degrees. Satan, Hades. Pluto rules Hades. And Saturn would be like Satan. So that's why I say, for your own healing, you have to heal, because you have to remember, it may be people you have to save. I got a whole lot of family I had to pray. I'm praying for a whole lot of family members now. Because like I said, it was a dysfunctional, the whole thing was dysfunctional. So that's where you have to get. And the more you begin to let it go and move on, because this whole planet has issues. All you have to do is read Yahoo News. That's what you got to do, is right there. Go to Yahoo News. And the horrible stuff people are doing to their own children and their own family members. It's a horrible, horrible things happen on this planet. A lot of good things happen too, but a lot of horrible things happen too. So you have to become the type of person that can be more forgiving. And that's what whole Neptune and Pisces is all about. Because that's going to be your 12th house of inspiration and spirituality. That's where your churches are and all that stuff. So with Neptune, and see, it's 14 degrees again, the gates of hell. With number 44, which is the master number or the end. So what they're saying is, hey, listen, time to forgive is running out. You got to deal with it, because time is running out. Don't let the time go by where you wish you had dealt with it. And that's what number 14 is, the angel of time. And then they're showing me something called REMP, REMPH. But then they say Samiel. Now Samiel is who married Lilith. It's kind of ironic, because she's asking me about Lilith, and they're showing me Lilith's husband, Samiel. And they called him the time spirit, I think. And REMP, again, REMN, talking about the demonic paradise. Now, there's a website called Kim boss angels, and it shows you the angels and what time of day they correspond with. So that's going to be interesting. The days of the week. Monday is the moon day, and that is Gabriel. NIL is Friday. Now it's still Samael for her Tuesday, but they spelled it with a Z. So you would have to find out if Zamael is the same angel as Samael. Because if it is, that is interesting. Now let's see what time you were born. Give me one moment. Give me one moment. All right. So now let's see what angel corresponds with that. Naal, which again is Friday or the Friday angel. And I want to check the time out again to make sure. And that was my angel too. Because like I said, me and her, we're like connected different ways. But I already knew that. But that's why I told you, the more you learn, the more you realize all this stuff is controlled by higher people than us, higher beings. Because we're both got an NAL connection. And I know NAL is probably connected to Venus, planet Venus, Friday. Hour Monday. First hour of Monday would be the moon. Second hour is Saturn. Third hour, Jupiter. Fourth hour, Mars. And on and on and on. And this is all about angels. It's called KimbosAngels.com. This is what I love when people come and they have questions such as this reading, because you find new stuff you never saw before. That's why I love what I do. I just love knowledge. It's a cool website. Got information here on crystals and stuff like that too. Give me one moment. Something fell. And one thing I learned, find it quick, because you'll forget. And what'll happen is you'll need it. And you'll be, hey, where's my water? And then you'll remember that it fell and you never picked it up. And now you got to go through all that hell of finding it. All right. So Scorpio is all about mystery, secrets, transformation, sexuality, intensity, purification, power. Now, again, it's a lot of stuff in that 8th house. So what I'm going to do right now as we speak, I'm going right to the free reports I give everybody, the free report that I give everyone who requests the natal chart analysis. And I email it right over to her. Because there's a lot of stuff in the 8th house, but the 8th house is a very powerful house. Right? All right, so let's continue. Now, obsession is with Scorpio. This is all coming out the 8th house too. Power, struggles, power control. Could be a lot of stuff. Because it's watery and emotional. And when you got like Pisces connected to it, or another water sign of Cancer, or the moon, it could be very extremely emotional. A lot of intensity. Could be somebody who wants to argue all the time, or just, they like to delve. And so if they doubt a lot, they'll also accuse you a lot. And you might not really have done anything. So you might get sick of being accused a lot or doubted. But once they believe in you, then they'll trust you. Then they're very loyal. But it takes them a while before that happens. A lot of times it is abusiveness. It could be seduction. A lot of times when you see like a Taurus Scorpio connection, that's like a very highly sexual person and stuff. And plus, like, Taurus has magnetism energy. So it's like you come around somebody and all of a sudden you just become aroused. See, her ascendant is Taurus. And they look at the 1st house and the 7th house. So that's a person that it would just attracted automatically. And that's a lot of sensuality, because Taurus loves massages and just having fun and all that. Rules the 7th house of money and possessions. And a lot of these people can look unbelievably well. And then some of them, because the Taurus loves to eat, they may have a problem in that area. But either way, it's still a highly sexual person. And 13, see, 13 degrees, her Taurus is 13 degrees. Again, that would be like an aspect of the dark feminine. But again, that's still like Scorpio energy, Lilith energy. So it's almost like her Lilith is telling her, I want to come out. Because in your 12th house, it is a house of secrets. Like Lilith in the 12th house is secrets. But that is the house of coming out. A lot of people don't realize that your 12th house, even though it's the house of secrets and repression and subconscious, is also the house of reckoning. Because that's the house you go to bring it out. And also you see she has a Chiron retrograde. That's things that haven't healed. But right now, Lilith is kind of like saying she wants to talk. She wants to come out. She wants to work with the sun. She wants a relationship. She wants to have a relationship with the person she's with. But it's still Aquarius. And Aquarius is like, yo, but don't go too deep. Because I want my freedom. So we can be in a relationship, but don't be calling me all the time. And don't think I'm going to tell you where I'm at all the time. And if you call me, if I don't feel like talking to you, I'm not going to pick up the phone. Don't be mad. But that's way better than somebody that's distant. But Lilith right now wants to deal with it. And that's not something she always does. And that's why she's at 1 degree. And everything is 1-1. Because for her, that's not something she normally does. That's why I say if Lilith ever did reveal herself to you, you should feel honored. Because she's not that type. Not if you, especially, I'm talking from a male viewpoint. And when I was born, my tarot card was the High Priestess. So I've always been connected to the Divine Feminine. That's why it makes me laugh when I come out here to help. And you see so many people that want to stay stuck on stupid. And they have to pay for that. And like I said, the prophecy that Prophetess Bolo gave, Prophetess Bola, she dealt with that. And that's coming up just next month. All right. So now, like I said, because of what we're to the obsessions, it could be destructive. Also, when you have Cancer or the moon, because the moon rules Cancer. When you have this in Scorpio or the 8th house or connected to Scorpio, be careful because these are people that could get possessed by spirits. So you have to be very careful because Scorpio is a sign that's connected to that. So you have to be careful how you travel, what you say, where you go, what you do. Especially if you have that Cancer or moon energy or 4th house energy, because that could lead to possession. And even the moon used to rule Pisces, but now it rules Cancer. So these things you just have to be aware of. So this person has a need to be emotionally close to other people. And then they have to experience the raw truth of that connection. Scorpio is a complex sign with many dimensions of expression. But again, I'm going to tell you, best thing you can do is get your pen and pad, get your journal going on. That's one of the best things you can do. Start to find these things out. Don't stay at a state where you don't know, or you're not sure, or if somebody like me is trying to tell you what I see, not really feeding into it. You got to get it going. And then again, the next best stage is communicating. YouTube, somehow you got to communicate because that's how it starts to come out. That's how you start to heal. So Scorpio is symbolized by the scorpion, the eagle, and the phoenix. So Scorpio wants to penetrate to the core essence of reality. They can be sensitive individuals. And they like to know the truth about what's going on with the people around them and things like that. They're very deep individuals. But they really have the power of understanding. Like a Scorpio will understand what's going on. They're also good healers. They heal well themselves and they can heal others. Scorpio governs matters to do with life, death, transformation, rebirth, regeneration, resurrection, sexuality, intimacy, relationships, destruction, renewal, regeneration. They can also rule crisis as well as emergency situations. So they also have a financial emphasis. They can have a talent for managing other people's resources. Because again, good managers are in the 8th house, ruled by Scorpio. But an artist could also be. An artist could also be there. It is about business, finance. And whenever you see the number 8, you're dealing with karma. Scorpio can be connected with stocks, bonds, investments, decision making, which happens behind the scenes. But it's also connected with debt and taxes. So you may have a problem with the IRS or taxes, government. Again, associated with hidden matters, the occult, esoteric information, mystical, metaphysical, astrology, tarot cards, archangel cards, magic, the occult, psychology, forensic criminology, the mafia, anything that's dark and hidden, anything that happens in a world not seen, anything that happens when you're unconscious or sleep. So they can sense the uncanny. They have an uncanny knack for sensing the subtle or hidden undercurrents in a situation. So they tend to bring hidden dimensions into light. But that's what the sun in Scorpio is going to do. They're going to take what's normally hidden and dark, and the sun is going to bring it out. They excel in situations that cause for reconstruction, renewal, rebirth, reform. And they confront issues head on. And they love to find the truth. And Sagittarius is kind of like that too. That's why I think her Jupiter, because Jupiter rules Sagittarius. She's got all that going on, Jupiter retrograde in her 12th house. Whenever you have Jupiter in your 12th house, that's your guardian angel. And it also gives you money, especially when you need it. It gives you money. And also, if you're doing for others, Jupiter will give you money. Jupiter in the 12th house. They're excellent healers, counselors, psychotherapists. And that's why you see a lot of these on YouTube. So they can know when you're holding the truth back from them, and that could affect them adversely. Because when they come to you, they're trying to find out the truth. And if they feel like you're holding back, that could cause them to act a certain way. But yet they themselves are very private people. Now Virgo's kind of like that too. Virgo will try to analyze you, but Virgo don't want you to analyze them. Now, again, once they feel like they can trust you and be open with you, then they will really open up to you. Like, that's what I would honestly think. If you have the patience to deal with a Scorpio, that would probably be some good sex, some great love making. But if you can get through the what they're gonna put you through, the doubt and all that stuff, if you got the patience to get through that, the sex will probably be off the hook. And then they're talking about the sting of the scorpion, and they could mess you up. Like what they might say to you if you hurt them, or how they get you back, because you're not even going to see it coming. They're just like Lilith. They're very strategic, and they're already planning how to get you back, and you don't even, and they can be very vindictive. So that sting of that scorpion is no joke. And they will collect truth about you, and then they will use that truth to harm you if they feel like you got it coming. They can be very vindictive. But that's why I said when you see Lilith in the 7th house, this is all about justice. Like I said, them ladies are not backing down. And if you notice it, it's growing against Trump. More and more women are just growing and growing and growing against Trump. But like I said, because of the emotions and the power struggle and the instability of a Scorpio or the 8th house, this can get very ugly. Can become very destructive. So that's why the Scorpio has got to learn themselves. And that's why I said you can't keep going, why can't I find this? Or every guy I find and all that. That's because the universe is telling you something. And I've been saying it over and over. Because I see love. When I look at your chart, that's all I see is love, love, love. But it's just stuff coming out that family. Stuff coming out that 4th house that is not being dealt with. That has to be dealt with so that you can move on. And like I said, Scorpio is the most powerful zodiac sign in the 12. So you can't always act like, oh, it's too much pain, and oh, I can't deal with it. You got to deal with it. Like I said, I come through very violent situations, but you have to find a way. Even if you take baby steps, but you got to do something, because it's not going to go away. And nobody is more powerful than Lilith. I really believe Lilith is the most powerfulest energy on your natal chart. That's my personal feeling. I don't think nobody is more powerful than Lilith. In mythology, she's like the best friend to Satan, the devil himself. So I don't think nobody's going to win out over Lilith. When you hear the number 66, it's all about Lilith. You can go right now. You go to your, I want to make sure I'm done with this. Number 66, Lilith. The 66 seals. That's what you got to look up, because she's the one that opens up the final seal. And whether you want the truth or not, I got to give it to you. This is why you have 66 books in your Bible, and it's at the 66th book that Jesus comes back. Well, at the 66th seal that Lilith opens and she sacrifices her life to do so, the devil comes back. So when the God of the Bible tells you, I am the light, I am the darkness, I am the good, I am the evil, that's what he's telling you. Isaiah 45 verse 6 to 7. And again, you can take it any way you want to. I can only tell you what's really there. And if you want to stay stuck on beliefs but not on the truth, that's totally up to you. I'm not making that mistake. I already made it. That's why I know to stick with the truth no matter what. All right, let us continue. So Scorpios need to recognize the shadow operating in themselves so it can be redeemed and brought into the light. And that's why your sun is in Scorpio, because in this lifetime, it's time for you to deal with it. And that's also where your true north node is. It's time to deal with it. It requires absolute honesty, firstly with themselves. And then you got to deal with whoever you need to deal with after that. And a Scorpio has to be honest about themselves with their own faults. I try to teach that all the time. You have to know yourself. Because if you're a female and you just expect a relationship to be one way, usually your way, and a guy is getting sick of it, and you don't even realize it because you're so vain, and he's getting sick of it. So now he's starting to fall away from you. So instead of you just going, what the hell's going on? Now you want to get worse. You already pushed him away from you, and now you want to attack him even worse. Instead of realizing that, wow, it is supposed to be a relationship. Wow, I am pretty selfish. Wow, I am kind of vain. Wow, I do nag a lot. Wow, I do accuse this guy of stuff he doesn't do. Wow, he's a great guy. Why am I doing this to him? So this is why this goes on and goes on. And that's why I said I got to a point in my life when I saw it and saw it and saw it. And I was like, nah, it's too much. This is the big planet. There's so much other stuff I can do in my life than trying to figure this crazy stuff out. So how it came to me was like through what I do with the natal charts. I just work with the universe. And so that's why I can't really change what I do, because it's the truth. Most people are just running. If you just tell them what they want to hear, that's all they want to hear. And they'll pay you for it. Even if you're lying through your freaking teeth. But they don't want to hear what I just said. And this is why this continues and continues. But every now and then I'll get people to do. And that's who I'm looking for. People to realize, hey, listen, we're all in this together. We all have to work together. I can't carry you and you can't carry me. We have to work together. If I carry you, I'm going to burn out. If you carry me, you're going to burn out. If we work together, we might be able to make it a little bit better. And even if we start to have problems, at least we've learned how to communicate. So maybe we do separate for a few months. But then because we learned how to communicate, we might be able to work it out. Maybe 3, 6, 7 months down the line, we might work it out. But nowadays, it's just all hell. It's all based on raw emotions, almost like animalistic. You'll get mad at somebody. Oh, I'm going to pay him back. I'm going to sleep with 4 guys and blah, 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 whatever's going on. And that's just horrible. Because how you going to come back from that? If somebody you love got mad at you and they slept with like 4 or 5 different people, especially if they didn't even know them. I was just so mad at you. I just went out to the bar and whatever. How can you look at that person the same way? I mean, some people can do that. They can forgive and forget. That would be one thing to just forgive. But this stuff happens. That's why I talk about it. Say, oh, why do you talk about it? Because it's the truth. I'm not making it up. So when you learn to have a more mature relationship with a person, you wouldn't do junk like that. Because you've learned how to talk. Like when you say, hey, why don't you put the toilet seat down when you're in the bathroom? Okay, well, why don't you put the garbage can down when you dump garbage in there? Why do you leave the thing up? See, now you got communication. Now maybe we can work on it. Okay, you put the seat down, okay, we worked on it. See my point? Instead of arguing. Whoa, he don't put the seat down, so I'm going to do that. Well, she did that, I'm going to do that. Or I'm going to go sleep with somebody because I'm sick of them. They get on my nerves. So it went from a toilet seat to sleeping with somebody else. But that's because they don't communicate. And that goes back to what did I say? What did I say earlier? Hey, what time is it? Time to get a watch. Okay, because you don't want to deal with what's going on inside. You just want to be a tough guy. And the universe is getting tired of that shit. This is why Lilith, who is the toughest energy on your natal chart, this is why Lilith is entering the 7th house of relationships. And with Aquarius, which is people, family, friends, places, associations, because we're getting tired. The universe is getting tired of this childish, silly behavior. Now, out here on YouTube, there's a gentleman named Jacob Israel, and that's what he was most recently talking about. So today is January 25th, so around January 23rd, 24th, maybe January 22nd, 23rd, 24th, he's talking about that. How the universe seems to be getting to a point where this whole greedy capitalism run all over top of you is starting to be brought into question. All about me. If you ain't got yours, I don't care. Even now, the Pope. Now, we've been talking about Taurus energy. And Taurus is the Hierophant, or the Pope. And also, whenever you see Saturn, that can also represent the Pope. Whenever you see anything, especially in the 10th house, like Saturn in the 10th house or something like that, that could be the Pope. But all of a sudden, he's changing his tune. Because he was basically told, if you don't do something about your pedophile priest, we're going to come after you. So now all of a sudden he's really going after them. Because before he was washing that under like they always do. So maybe we are entering a new time. But this is why you have to stop being repressed and deal with it. Because that's the only way you're going to heal. Scorpio sign requires that they examine their own emotional natures in order to grow and evolve or heal. They may have to spend some time alone to get to the bottom of what they are feeling and why. But again, you spend time wherever it's beneficial. It might be alone, but it may be just with somebody qualified. So they say if you are an obsessive Scorpio, it's only because you haven't conquered these things in yourself. So if you feel a need to conquer a situation or rule over a situation, it's because you haven't conquered these things in yourself. So again, you're still dealing with repressed feelings. And this is why they have to be purified of the things that repress them. So once Scorpio overcomes this, they will be better helpers for others to overcome as well. See, like I said, Australia, they do astrology really good. You just have to find the right sites, though. So Sun in Scorpio, born with the Sun in Scorpio, your journey is likely to involve learning through transformation and change. You are here to learn about power and how power operates through life. I believe you are here from your past life and your true north node of this life. You have to bring the closure, things that even happen in this life, maybe with family, but also in your past life. And sometimes people that are in your family are people that are from a past life. I'll never know why me and my older sister could not get along, but I knew that would be a certain, like a fight to the death. And it really was. It really was. So I'm sure that's some past life stuff. That's like what they said about 50 Cent and Ja Rule. They said that's some past life stuff. They said 50 is not going to let Ja Rule rest. They said every time Ja Rule tries to get up, 50 just going to put him back down again. They said that's some past life stuff. They said most people would have moved on by now. They said not 50. So you may go through a lot of crises in your life, but they're saying that's kind of necessary because it has to be crisis and regeneration because it's all part of your healing. This is why you say, oh, why did so-and-so beat me? Why did so-and-so molest me? Because That's the journey of the life on the chart. Not saying I agree with it. I hate it. I went through the beatings as well. I went through the beatdowns as well. But it's still going to happen. What are you going to do? Sit here and just be upset your whole life? But you have great strength as well. And with that strength, you'll help yourself. If you start to teach and train other people, you'll help them. And when you have your own family, you'll have a strong family. You gain inner wisdom through confronting your own inner demons and things you've been through. So these things will teach you greater intimacy with others. So they say you like deep one-on-one encounters with others where you can explore the depths of your emotional nature. From intimacy comes real growth, as well as unique insight into the mysteries of human life. But you must first be truthful with yourself before you can attain this level of insight and illumination. And that's what I've been telling you for a while. But unfortunately, that's the same thing with me. Unfortunately, it's always going to be connected to somebody else. If it was just you, you would go, oh, great, I'll start right now. But sometimes you got to go back to people you don't want to talk to and people you don't want to deal with, and you don't want to talk about that subject. But that's exactly what the universe is going to send you back to. That's like when God told Jonah, go to Nineveh. That was the one place on earth. Nineveh ain't want to have nothing. Jonah didn't want to have nothing to do with Nineveh, but that's exactly where God sent him and made him go. All right, give me a moment. I'm just reading a couple of them. I'll be right with you. Give me a moment. And they keep saying how Lilith is feminine sexuality, but she's not. She's not. Lilith is all about, she wants to be heard. She wants the same equality as everybody else. So to me, she's more about equality than sex. She can be about sexuality, but that's not. They got that whole story wrong. Her and Adam, it had nothing to do with sex. It had her. She was telling Adam that it's going to either be equal or we're not going to be together. That's why I respect Lilith, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Nobody's better than nobody else. It was Adam. Adam was about sexuality, not Lilith. They got her all wrong. And she's a warrior. If you fuck with her, she's going to fuck you up. She's going to fuck your kids up. She's going to fuck everything up. Just don't fuck with her. Simple as that. That's called respect. You won't let nobody just come on your property and be all disrespectful. If you had a weapon, you would move that person off your property or take their life or wound them. And they just said it. Now I'm at astrology-zodiac-signs.com, and they just said Lilith and astrology. And they said if more people vented like Lilith, they said that it would take more pressure off of Scorpio and Pluto, because Pluto rules Scorpio. And this is a Scorpio who requested this. Sun sign Scorpio. So sometimes, like Scorpio, Lilith holds it in. So sometimes when you see Lilith or Lilith retrograde on your chart, where you see it at, that's some repression. Like usually when you see that on a chart in the family or home sector, that's probably somebody that has some type of family or home abuse. Alrighty, now this is what they're reading for you. This is the Lilith calculator. So I put in your information. This is what they came back with. Lilith is a sign of sensuality, strength, independence, and your need for rebellion. It stands for all the negative feelings that we feel towards people and circumstances. I just want to change that a little bit. It stands for all the, you could say, I don't even want to say negative. It stands for all the adverse feelings that you feel towards circumstances. Again, because she didn't have a problem with people. According to the mythology, the only people there at that time, they were angels, but the only people there at that time was Lilith and Adam. And Adam was on some male chauvinist macho man type of bullshit. And she checked his ass. And then when he wouldn't work with her, she left. And then for whatever reason, God sided with Adam. So she said, well, both of y'all, I'm not coming back. And then from then on, they demonized her. See, if you studied your Bibles, you would know that Jesus was never down with mistreating women. And that's why I say you have to really study your Bible. I think Nania did a great job because she shows you how the Old Testament was primarily the Elohim, not God. The Elohim were the gods, but all the Elohim were a higher form of humanoids. But they were gods because they had higher technology and higher understanding. So they were walking around bullying people. This is taught by Nania out here on YouTube. That's why I wish more people spend more time with the stuff I teach and don't just go with this bullshit you've been taught by this matrix that's about to be removed by God. Because you got a lot of false teachings and you believe that crap. Lilith is a wonderful person if you ask me. I've never had a problem with her. But you get mythology and you get all this garbage. And then when somebody tries to teach the truth, oh, forget him. And you'll go somewhere else, a whole bunch of garbage. And you never do anything about the garbage. So you're actually spending all this money to actually kill yourself. Because that's what you're doing. Like everything we did in this reading today was all about purging and purifying. And everything Prophetess Bola is talking about is 2019. It's purged. It's coming. You can't get away from it. So your Lilith, as they said, was in Aries. And it is in the 12th house. And now you see Mars in Aries in the 9th house, which has Sagittarius energy, which we've already talked about. And a lot of fire sign going on. The chart on the left, Aries in the 1st house with Leo, fire signs. Sagittarius in the 5th house, ruled by Leo, fire signs. And when you go to the 9th house, Aries in the 9th house, which is ruled by Sagittarius, fire sign. And then the sun is the ruler of the fire sign. So that's in the Aquarius. So you're gonna see heated intensity between that Lilith feminine energy and the rest of the world. But like I said, these ladies are not going to take it sitting down. And if you notice, more and more women are landing positions in politics, positions they've never ever held before. This is all Lilith taking over. Even your vertex cross is in Libra. Relationships with Pluto, which is transformation. The number 10 is the wheel, or Jupiter, which is Jupiter energy. But the wheel can also mean things are about to change. But the number 10 could be completion and then a restart. And then at number 18, which we're going to look up, it can break down to the number 9 again. So in a tarot card, the 18 is the moon card. So that's that feminine energy, but also that psychic stuff going on again. And that's at your vertex. And if you notice, your moon is leaving the 7th house and going into the 8th house at 0 degrees. So it's still dealing with relationships, because that's the 7th house. And then the moon is in Libra. So Lilith is saying out, because they call Lilith the black moon, the dark moon. So Lilith is saying I want a relationship based on these terms. Respect me for me. Respect me as a woman. I'm never going to be a man. And respect my freedom as Aquarius. But I'm willing to talk about it. But at least she's willing to talk about it. So that's a great start. And she's willing to work with the sun to shine light on areas that may have been dark before. But you have to address these issues in your 4th house. Because they're both at 2 degrees. And 4th house and 3rd house with Cancer, which rules the 4th house. Now, you always have to be careful of the moon card, because like planet Neptune, it could bring doubt. It could be foggy. So you just have to slow down, like we keep saying. Slow down, because again, Scorpio is a lot like Aries. They both ruled by Mars to a certain degree. Mars used to rule Scorpio. They want to dive in. You don't want anybody telling you anything. Just dive in. I know so many people like that. You tell them to slow down, they're not going to slow down. But then when everything is messed up, they wish they slowed down. And remember, even the number 2 card is the High Priestess. And she is the moon. The number 2 card is the High Priestess, and that's who rules her, is the moon. So this is all your moon stuff, your feminine energy. And the moon always connects to the 8th house, whether it's in the 8th house or not, because the moon actually reincarnates people. So the moon will always be connected to the whole Scorpio, Pluto thing. And this is duality, body and spirit. Now they say that the number 1 is for the tarot card number 1, which is the Magician or Mercury energy. And that rules Gemini. So they say when you have a number 2, I'm glad I looked this up. Number 2, your karmic assignment at number 2 is to be diplomatic. Because I saw that, I just didn't know how it fit. But now I understand. It's everything I'm telling you. They want you to be like Joyce Myers. They want you to be the peacemaker, even though you're the victim. And that's your karmic assignment in this life. So they're saying if you got number 2, your karmic assignment or your life path or your soul urge number might indicate that you were unable to cooperate with others in a former life. So this time they want you to be patient, tactful, and diplomatic, but they want you to be able to communicate with this person. And that makes a lot of sense because it seems like you got beef with fiery energy, primarily sun energy or Leo energy. Now, whether that's, like I said, family, somebody in the family, but sometimes it could actually be your twin flame. Or sometimes a soulmate. Reason why you take notes, because when you take notes, sometimes it's just human nature not to get it, not to get it, not to get it. But if you're taking notes, that's how it's going inside of you. And at some point, the lights just turn on. Because he's been said that. He said that about Leo over and over and over again. Now it just makes so much more sense to me. Even your sun sign is number 11, which is really number 2. Right next to your true north node. And sometimes you just got a problem with maybe a father, but also a twin flame or a soulmate. But like I said, at the end of the day, only that person would know these things. And if you're not really taking notes, it kind of goes in one ear and out the other one. But this is serious. This is real. Because that's the way I see it. Who doesn't want to be in love? But sometimes it's things within ourselves. And it's things on our chart that we don't want to confront yet or work on. And that's why we're not going to find that love that we're looking for. We got to heal. We got to overcome it. All right. So now they say about your sign. Well, first they say black moon astrology sign is Aries, which it is. Keyword sensuality, strength, rebellious, then action. About your sign. You need a lot of exercise in the form of walks, dance, aerobics. You need to release a lot of energy. This is a very active sign, and energy must be released in your activities. You will be confident, positive, assertive, and independent. Ignore all the negative thoughts. So you may have negative thoughts. Not necessarily ignore them, but you got to learn how to process it differently so that it's no more negative thoughts. You got to learn how to process it and change it into where it's optimistic actions. Not just optimistic thinking, but also optimistic actions. Live your life to the fullest. Be careful not to be too impulsive because that may lead to violence. You will be extremely rebellious. You will be extremely rebellious and find it very difficult to stay within the law. Your aggressive behavior can be the cause of all your troubles. You will make good revolutionaries and guerrillas who fight for their liberations and freedom. So I don't know who does this. It was a little extreme. This is mysticscripts.com. It's a little extreme. Maybe some of that stuff they're saying is something who you were in a past life. Because there are a lot of warriors here in this life. There are a lot of warrior angels in human bodies right now in this life. So maybe that's what they're talking about. All right. So that will conclude this assignment, this assessment, this analysis. Remember, we got a lot of stuff going on Archangel, Revelations and Prophecies 444, my channel. There's new information about 2019. Check it out. Definitely need to get your natal chart. If you don't have it, you need to get it updated. If it hasn't been updated in a while, you need to get the natal chart first if you don't have it, and also keep it updated. Take this very seriously. 2019 is one of those years you don't want to play with 2019. It's a lot of stuff going on. We already saw how important it is with Lilith, what she's doing. It's not a joke. Again, make sure you're dealing with experts. Make sure it got to be a natal chart. When you get a reading, all you're getting is like a slice of your chart. And that's really, it's like coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe, mighta, what if. It may be. But when you see it on your natal chart, you definitely see it. And usually we also follow up the natal chart with the cards, the Archangel cards, or other ways. Because I even do 6-card tarots. I got all different ways. Like, this is something that when you commit to it, you're going to see the results. But most people just don't. You got to be taking notes. You got to really take your natal chart seriously. And you got to realize that you have to work on yourself. Because that's the only way you'll ever become what you need to become. Therefore, when you're in a relationship, you're more emotionally mature. So you kind of realize, like if you say, hey, how come you keep leaving the toilet seat up? Well, how come you keep leaving the garbage bin up? You know what, you're right. Instead of arguing, because that's the human response, to start arguing over some stupid stuff, and now y'all ain't talking, and it's just going to widen. Now you're cheating on each other and all kind of crazy stuff. And that started from a little silly thing that only takes 2 seconds to put any type of lid down, usually, if it's not broke. But this is what we do in third dimension on planet Earth. So what this natal chart does, what I try to teach is, what the natal chart teaches is how we all have to hold ourselves accountable to ourselves, other people, and the universe. And we have to grow up a little bit, especially when we talk about having sex with somebody, which is a very sacred commitment. That's a universal commitment. It goes way deeper than just having sex. That's universal. They call it magic. That's universal connections, universal energy, all kind of stuff goes on. So we got to get back to when that stuff was more sacred and we respected it more. And whether we do it on our own or the universe comes in and shakes things up, because that's what's about to happen. That's why Trump said the storm and chaos, order. See, if you knew about Egyptology, chaos is sex. That's why when you read Daniel chapter 11, verse 40-44, which a lot of people are saying Trump is about to fulfill, it says a pushing goes on. A pushing between the king of the north and the king of the south. Well, I teach on my channel what that pushing really is. That's sex. See, a new world is about to be born. When you read John chapter 3, it comes to talking about going back in your mother's womb, going back. Anything going into a womb is sex. And that baby that came out of the womb came out because of sex. So that's the recreation. That's the new world. And that's where we're at. That pushing, that copulating, that fornicating has got to occur. That sexuality has got to occur so that this new world can be born. And then you see it again in Revelation 12. She's already pregnant. But who's standing before her? The red dragon. See, in the West, the red dragon is evil. But if you go to the East, the red dragon is a hero. He's who burns worlds down with his mouth, but then he breathes life into the new world with his nostrils. And that's why your Bible says that God breathed the breath of life into Adam. It's talking about the dragon. And in the book of Psalms, they also talk about that dragon. So you need to know this stuff so that you can make better decisions. And the more you begin to accept the truth, which is what I teach out here, it changes you inside. Your relationship just changes. Like I said, when you start to look at your woman like sacred, she's part of me. Sacred. That's a less chance you're just going to cheat on her. And if she says the same thing, see, y'all got to get that devil out of you. When you just keep putting the man down, putting your boyfriend down, all kind of stupid stuff. What time is it? Oh, it's time to get a watch. Just silly, dumb shit. You got to come out of that. Because I'm telling you, mama's in control. Mama rules the universe. And if you don't start doing it on your own, then she's going to do it for you. She's going to spank your ass. Guaranteed. So that's why I don't change, because I know I'm right. And I know when all this goes down, I'm going to see all these people that ran away, that tried to play me out, and they're going to get what's coming to them. See, I'm from Jersey. I'm not vindictive. I'm just going to be happy when I see it, because I'm going to be able to go, I told you so. This is Get. It's been a pleasure. God bless.